Hey guys, Rich Boy J here, back again with another video, and tonight we're going to be working on this ROCKWORK here on Starkiller base. So sit down, enjoy the ride. It's going to be a good one. How's everyone doing tonight? We got a couple boyos in the chat. We got Lego Geek, Lego Fan 95 Mini Cardi, It's Void, Stormy Builds, Joey May. What's up, dude? Thinking about changing your name to Bad Boy Stormy. You should absolutely do that. How's everyone doing? Working on your Horizon mock. Sounds like a good time. What's up, Dewey Sparks? Cool Beans 22.99. Jay, what do you think about Ryan calling Solid Bricks out? I posted a comment on that video that does a pretty good job at elaborating on how I felt about that entire situation. But let's just say I was not a fan of that, in short. No problem, that one guy. What's up, Philip Anderson? So yeah, working on ROCKWORK. My goal for tonight is to get the rest of this. You can't even see it because it's kind of behind here, but the section of rocks right next to this building is about right here. So my goal is to basically level up all the rocks to here. So hey, shout out to ReboBricks for the $2 super chat. Appreciate that, my guy. I also got a time lapse going, so that's what we'll be doing tonight. What's up, JB? How you doing, bro? Let me grab something to sort and join you in the ROCKWORK pain. Yeah, man, it hasn't been as bad as I thought it would be, but it certainly has been a bit of a chore, especially considering I have so much left to do. I mean, this isn't as much ROCKWORK as Crate, which is nice, because that was a ton, but I had Garrett to help with Crate, and he's not here to help with this, so it just feels like a lot more, I guess. If you guys are wondering, I do have a time-lapse running for this. So that's what that noise is. BOYO. Did you see that the Corvus is in the Rise of Skywalker? Is it really? Is it really? Someone's going to have to send me a link of that because I did not see that. Sequels are amazing. Change my mind. No need to change your mind. That is not a controversial statement, but thank you for the super chat. JBBrickfanatic. Rich boy JBBrickfanatic. I think Ryan deleted the video. He didn't delete it, he just unlisted it. So it's if you have the link, you can still watch it and you can see my comment. Someone tell me who the Sith Troopers belong to. From what I've seen, they are, and this is not a spoiler, like this is information that's out there. They're like Kylo Ren's personal army of some sort. So, that's what I've heard. It's weird to think we only have, what, less than 2 months until that movie comes out? Anyone who just joined will see this title, but if you didn't just join, if you want to refresh, I've updated the title of this stream. It's mostly the same, except the end of it is cheer me up or make me excited about episode 9. I want you guys to try to make me excited for episode 9. Because at this point, I'm kind of dreading it. Like, after the trailer that recently came out, like, I didn't hate the trailer. The trailer was fine. But just kind of further contemplating on it, I'm getting less and less enthusiastic about seeing that movie. So I want you guys to help me not be so depressed about it. Honestly, the lead up to the Rise of Skywalker feels like I had a girlfriend who told me, like, oh, we need to talk. And I'm just counting down the days for us to have that conversation. That's what it feels like. Jay, do you like Palpatine? I love Palpatine. He's one of my favorite characters in all of Star Wars. Do you consider brick building Did you consider brick building the First Order logo? No. The Lego is way too contemplated. No, I've not seen those leaked images, and that is something that we can talk about. Well, no, we're not going to talk about it. I don't want to hear about it. But, yes, there are apparently some, like, very spoiler-heavy leaked images out there. So, Guys, tread the internet lightly. I know if you're like me and you're sensitive to spoilers, watch out. Stay away from Star Wars Reddit, I guess. The only reason I enjoyed the trailer is because I was in a call with Matt and the boys freaking out. Oh, okay. I was not freaking out. That was the opposite of freaking out. I mean, I liked the trailer. It wasn't bad. It didn't suck. It was a good trailer. But I don't know, man. I'm just not looking forward to this movie. Like, they are very spoiler away. Stay away from leak Instagrammers and Reddit. Well, you heard it here, boyos. You heard it here. No. So here's what we're not gonna do. No one link anything to the spoilers. I'd rather stay off the topic in general. If you want to find them, go Google them. But that's not a conversation I'd like to facilitate here. Are you sad that you saw them, or you were sad at what you saw? What do you think of the new TIE daggers? The TIE daggers, they look cool. They look cool. You want to talk about how both UCS sets that came out this year are on the Rise of Skywalker? I actually messaged Garrett about that. I sent him a photo of the Star Destroyer. I didn't even think about the Tantive is in it too. And I was like, Lego had the foresight to know that this was going to be in episode 9. Oh my god. I didn't see a Corvus either. I haven't seen anyone mention a Corvus. Matt, you're this close to getting banned, bro. We will show no excitement for that. We show no excitement for Palpatine coming back, bro. Just saying the last Tantive wasn't UCS. I mean, yeah, it was not UCS. Hippie-ish thinks the Porg is cute. Thank you. I grew him myself. Matt is spamming. Sorry, if you have to do it, I'm giving you full reign to send Matt to the Shadow Realm. Make a request in the Senate where that kind of... No, he says, what does he say? He said, she's like, you're friends with the Emperor. Tell him to make this war stop. Don't ask that of me. Make a what does he say? Make a request in the Senate. Make a motion in the Senate where that kind of request belongs. Is that what he says? Make a motion in the Senate where that kind of request belongs. That's one of the funniest scenes in all of Star Wars. Rich Boy J, I would stay hyped for the movie. JJ loves to throw people off with the trailers. I mean, sure, yeah, I agree. He does. But, like, we know Palpatine's going to be in the movie. Like, that's not a secret. That's not misdirection. Like, that's clearly something they want us to get excited about. And I just ain't excited for it. I timed out Matt's girlfriend so her existence doesn't... Oof! That is some shade. What's up, Michael English? How you doing, bro? I mean, who doesn't want to see more Imperial Star Destroyers? Me? See, that's... Okay, let's talk about that. Let's talk about that. Are we, as Star Wars fans, able to appreciate things in small doses? Like, yes, I love Imperial Star Destroyers. They are cool. But sometimes enough is enough, per se. Like, I don't need to see them in this movie. I don't need to see everything I love in Star Wars in every Star Wars movie. Is that fair to say? Like, we can love things in moderation. And if it was as simple as who doesn't want to see more Star Destroyers, then why don't they just make another 10 movies of just battles that happened during the Galactic Civil War era? Like, we gotta move forward at some point. I keep preaching this. Like, Star Wars it can be a lot more than just the Empire. It should be a lot more than just the Empire. Well, it is the last movie. They gotta have the callbacks. I mean, no, they don't. So here's another issue I have with the way people are kind of getting presented to this movie, the notion that like, oh, this is the last film, so every piece of Star Wars has to be related to it. I have a few arguments against this, but one, the fact that this is a continuation of the story before is sufficient. Like, the First Order is basically an evolution of the Empire. The Resistance is basically an evolution of the Rebels. Like, that's your tie-in to the original story. Like, that's sufficient. You don't need more than that. Just let these two factions that are evolutions of what we had before play their conflict out. Like, you don't need to just go back and bring up the old stuff. Like, in episode 3 was the last Star Wars film for the longest time. And I mean, other than the ending, which went at great lengths to try to make everything look exactly like episode 4, it didn't go overboard in, like, I don't know, like, making everything tie in together, I guess. I don't know. It says, isn't this exactly what Endgame did? And that's, like, the most grossing film. Of course, Disney would bring back the old stuff. I mean, yeah, but I mean, I guess, like, I didn't really care for the time travel plot. Some people, I mean, did anyone actually like the time travel plot? They didn't necessarily have to do that, though. Did anyone go into that movie thinking, oh, we got to see all that old stuff again because this movie has to tie together? I feel like the fact that it is a continuous story and the story has gone certain places because of events that have happened within the story is sufficient. Like why are callbacks in the last film necessary? I don't understand. And you're welcome for the donuts, by the way. Glad you enjoy them. Someone like, I don't understand why that's necessary. I mean, they didn't have to bring back old stuff. See, I guess the problem I have with it is I don't understand, like, the fact that the First Order looks so much like the Empire was you, quote-unquote, bringing back old stuff. Like, yeah, you bring back old stuff, but in a new and fresh way. Like, that seemed like the point of that. But at the point where you're just like, you know what, let's just bring back the Empire as well. Doesn't that kind of like what was the point of making the First Order like the Empire then? Like, you could have just made them something completely different. And then at least, like, we don't have 2 empires in this new film? Am I not making sense to anyone here? I just don't get the point. I don't know. I mean, episode 4 was the last Star Wars film for a long time. And I'm sorry, episode 6 was the last Star Wars film. And I guess it's not fair to use that as an example because they did do the Death Star again. But no one liked that. It wasn't like, oh, we gotta reference all this old stuff because this is the last film. Like, no, like, your story starts at one place and it ends at a different place. Like, that's okay. I don't understand why you would need to bring back the old stuff just because it's the last film. Nolan says, I would be more okay with them bringing back Palpatine if there was any setup to in the last 2 films. I generally agree with that. Like, it would at least seem less out of left field, but I still don't see the point of bringing him back. He had a pretty good death. Jay, the First Order was an Empire wannabe. The Empire wasn't ever gone, so now it's back, and the First Order is no more. I mean, the First Order is clearly not no more. I think that's a misextrapolation with what has happened. But I mean, yeah, they were essentially like they were an evolution of the Empire. They're like Empire fanatics who wanted to finish what they started. The whole reason for doing that was to have something Imperial-like in this new trilogy of films. Like, that, why was that not sufficient? I don't understand. Like, what was the point of making the First Order like the Empire if you were just going to bring back the Empire? And I know the answer to that is, well, they didn't plan on doing that at the beginning, but why do it? To talk about happier stuff, have you been watching Resistance Season 2? Yes, that is like the one Star Wars thing that has made me happy recently. Shout out to Resistance. What a lovely show. I bet it'll be like a KOTOR scenario. The Star Forge is real. I mean, as much as I love KOTOR, I could have dealt without the Star Forge. It was It was unnecessary. It was like they had this like very great, lovely story, and then for some reason it just has to end like episode 4. I never understood that. If Palpatine's back, he has to kill either Rey, Kylo, or Rey. It just has to be. Why? Why does it have to be that way? The Emperor never killed anyone. Why we start killing people now? How do you think the Empire will react to the First Order since they're both dominant powers? I have no idea. I have no idea. I literally have no idea. If Disney wanted to have like 7 to 9, then they would have had a plan in place and the same director and to make all 3 movies to eliminate inconsistencies. I agree. They should have just had one director. One of them has to die to have some sort of emotional... I mean, okay. Why does the Emperor specifically have to kill them? Since when is people dying necessary for an emotional impact? What about Stranger Things? Like, no one died in the original trilogy, and those, like, you didn't need that to happen for those movies to have an emotional impact. Jay, you like the sequels. Why aren't you excited for 9? Because 9 is like the anti-sequel, in my opinion. 9 seems like, you know what? All that stuff we set up about 7 and 8, forget it. Like 9 may as well just have been like the only sequel movie. Like if the point of all of the sequels was, oh, the Emperor's coming back, why do we even need the other 2 movies as build up? What's the point? If you're just gonna bring in a completely new villain, I mean not completely new, but basically a new villain to this trilogy, then why does the first 2 movies even matter? Like that's one of the problems I had with the prequels, right? Like you bring in your new villain, he dies in the first film. Okay, the next movie has a different villain. He dies at the beginning of the 3rd film. There's also another villain in the 3rd movie. Like, what's the point? Like, we could have just started there if that was going to be what this was all about in the first place. There's so much happening in Episode 9 trailer, there's no way it'll be resolved satisfyingly. I still think Snoke should have been connected to Plagueis somehow. I mean, I don't really care about that, to be honest. Like, as far as I'm concerned, the whole Plagueis thing was a lie anyways. Like, from what we've seen on film, at this point, I just assume the Plagueis thing was literally just like a legend, just like a tale that he told him. It says, it'll make sense when you watch it. I see what you mean. I'm just optimistic because JJ is smart. I mean, I like JJ as a director, but, I mean, if you just read like his response to people as like why he's bringing back the Emperor in the first place, it just rings so hollow. Like he's trying to make it seem as if like this was the plan all along, which it clearly wasn't, and that's just insulting. Like it clearly was not the plan to bring him back. Isn't Plagueis canon though? I mean, yeah, he's canon because of that scene in Episode 3, but it's the whole debate about like how believable it depends on if you believe the Emperor or not, right? Like, do you believe that the story he told was true? If you do, then sure, yeah, that's it. But just the way everything plays out, I think all evidence points to Plagueis probably was not an actual thing. And if he was not someone who could actually save people from dying. Smoke was the worst villain ever. I mean, he got wrecked right off the bat. I mean, he lasted more films than Darth Maul, and everyone loves him. I love that Snoke got smoked. Favorite Star Wars characters, Luke Skywalker. What's your favorite movie between the sequels and the prequels? Like, if I'm looking at episodes 7 and 8, and 1, 2, and 3, what is my favorite movie out of that group? Episode 8. Darth Maul did things. Like what? Oh, he killed Qui-Gon? Pointless Jedi? He still got wrecked by a Padawan. Oof. That's embarrassing. I think that Rey and Kylo go to the Death Star for an artifact, and since it is such a Force-sensitive location, it causes a force vision with Palpatine. So you think he's not actually in the film? You think it's just all a hallucination? Maybe, you know what? You know how Palpatine's going to be in this film? Rey and Kylo go out on a date, and they treat themselves to a couple of death sticks, and they start seeing ghosts. They start seeing dead people come back alive. I think JJ was smoking on death sticks when he decided to bring the Emperor back. Hey, don't say Qui-Gon is a pointless Jedi because he trained the Jedi we all love. As far as I'm concerned, Obi-Wan was trained by Yoda, as he says in the freaking original trilogy. I don't want to make this a prequel bashing stream. Everyone always wants to hear me crap on the sequels, so I will crap on one sequel. Kylo and Rey are siblings? Are you kidding me? That's clearly not the case. What is your prequel character? Like my favorite prequel character? Funny enough, the Emperor. Swear to God, it explains that Force chat thing. They already explained the Force chat thing. You guys don't watch these movies, clearly. You guys need to pay more attention. Do you think the Death Star 2 remains are on Endor? Probably. I don't know. Probably. Favorite sequel character? Finn. That's why a small margin too. Like I love Finn, Rey, and Poe, so it can go either way. I forgot Smoke did it. Is that what we're calling him now? Yoda looked like he had too much coffee in the freak. Dude, episode 1 Puppet Yoda. That is what nightmares are made of. I definitely agree they shouldn't bring the Empire back just for canon's sake. I mean, I have so many reasons why they shouldn't bring it back. They shouldn't bring it back from just a fandom's sake, just in terms of like, what is a creative and interesting thing to do with this film. I thought that Puppet Yoda in episode 8 was fine. It wasn't perfect, but it was fine. It definitely wasn't episode 1 Puppet Yoda. Snoke was basically a completely useless character, except he wasn't. How is Snoke any more useless than the Emperor was in the first film? Can we stop calling characters useless? If they do things in the films, if they progress the plot, they had a purpose in the film. I'd say Jar Jar was a useless character. Did nothing. I mean, he introduced the Jedi to Boss Nass, so I guess he isn't completely useless. See, even Jar Jar isn't useless. I love episode 7. 8 was okay. I hate the way Luke acted. I hope 9 can fit it and be a god. It'd be great. If episode 9 is good, I'd be very happy. I don't see that happening, though, unfortunately. Snoke is more useful than Qui-Gon. Yeah. Qui-Gon can't even take out some stupid Sith assassin. I mean, he didn't end the Order, though. See, that's, I mean, you would think that after all this time, Yoda probably had a lot of time to reflect on the Jedi, and I don't think he would be too happy with how things kind of ended. I think the impression that the way that Luke and Yoda both treat the Jedi, like, or the Jedi Order from, like, the prequels, is the way it should have been treated in the prequels. Like, clearly, that was not the way. Like, the Jedi Order and the prequels were very flawed. The movies try to make them more sympathetic, but I think, like, we're clearly supposed to see, oh, these people basically contributed to their own downfall. So, I like them kind of going back and saying, like, we were wrong. Like, yes, there's an opportunity to better ourselves. I think that's something they totally should be doing. What's up, Solid X Astro? What's up, T12TFG? What's one thing you wish wasn't changed to non-canon? No, I don't care. Nothing. Nothing they made Legends really impacted me. Rose was useless. She ruined Finn's sacrifice that he was completely set up for. Did you not watch? I don't understand. Like, literally at the beginning of the film, Leia is like screaming to Poe, like, "Yo, get back with the ship. You are unnecessarily killing people." So when Rose is basically doing something consistent with that philosophy at the end of the film, why did people take that the wrong way? Like, the First Order would have made it into the base anyways. That was very clear. Like, if he would have stopped that machine, they could have just brought down another one. Like, it would have been a pointless sacrifice. Shout out to Will Bond for subscribing. Got a lot of subscribers tonight. I love it. I too miss Carrie Fisher, man. Shout out to our princess. They were just trying to give them time. I mean, it clearly wasn't going to work. Like, they would have found a way into the base. Rose is also the reason Finn even decided to stay with the Resistance anyways. So, I mean, regardless of how you feel about her, she's not a useless character. Jay Snako was Plagueis all along, and now Darth Sidious has witnessed snakes fall and can take down the First Order and rebuild the Empire. Okay. Because Rose got in the way of Finn and Poe being buddies. I agree with that. She did get in the way of them being buddies. The Jedi movies and the Clone Wars were such losers. They would just send Anakin, Obi-Wan, and Ahsoka to do everything while the other Jedi sit around at the temple. My favorite thing about Star Wars Episode 1 is the fact that, like, Qui-Gon and Obi-Wan go to, like, fight Darth Maul, right? While all the Jedi are just chilling at the temple, and the Jedi don't even show up until the celebration after Obi-Wan handled all, like, the tough work. Like, the Jedi are so stupid in Episode 1. They're a little bit better in Episode 2 because they actually show up to the fight, right? But seriously, all they do is just sit around for no reason. Like, well, the Jedi have not been known to be good with numbers. Sith Lords are a speciality. Since when? I just watched The Last Jedi, and man, it's Luke's final moment done beautifully. I love Luke in The Last Jedi, man. Shout out to my boy Luke. Smoke for president. The Death Star ruins are not on Endor. Disney confirmed they're on another moon and ocean, one that orbits the same planet. Okay, that's cool. I mean, 4 guys to take down a Sith Lord, and they all lost! What a bunch of losers! Man. It's not even they lost, but they lost so easily. Like, it wasn't even close. They all just stood there while the Emperor cut them down. Did they miss that day in Jedi school where they told you to block? They had so many Jedi available, they could have sent to fight Darth Maul to overwhelm him. Just let Obi-Wan and Qui-Gon handle it. No big deal. Whenever they finish it, we'll show up for the party afterwards. Like, seriously, like, why even have them show up on Naboo at the end? Like, why even have him show up? Do you think Luke should have done more in The Last Jedi with his Force powers, or using the Force hallucination was enough? That was enough. That was, like, perfect. That's literally something we've never seen anyone do. He didn't need to do more. That was freaking cool. That was, like, the most Jedi thing I've ever seen in my life. I always thought it was awesome, though, because Palpatine was basically in control of the clones and the droids. He split the Jedi Council around the galaxy so they wouldn't all be on Coruscant at once. I mean, they were all on Coruscant at once a lot, though. I don't understand. Mace Windu probably would have killed Sheev if Anakin didn't show up. I want to say probably not. I think I'm gonna give the Emperor the benefit of the doubt and say he probably would have manhandled Mace Windu if he had to. Light side Force lightning to give Palpatine what he deserves. I mean, they don't need to know. Okay, please stop spamming the chat. Oh my god, seriously, guys. I don't like that show because no one said they have a bad feeling about anything. BB-8 said it. He planned it perfectly. I mean, no, he didn't. Do I need to break down how stupid like the Emperor's plan in episode 1 was? I like Rose. She's fine. She's not great. She's not bad. She's just fine. The only thing I don't like about Rose is it seems that her involvement with Finn came at the expense of Finn with other characters. I think Canto Bight would be so much more compelling if it was just Finn and Poe. Should have just been Finn and Poe. Like, Rose could have been in the story. Like, she could have just been, like... She could have still been the one that kind of, like, made Finn, like, not abandon them. But I still think Poe should have went to Canto Bight with Finn. I'm talking about episode 3, though. In episode 1, he basically impeached Valorum. Call for votes of no confidence in Chancellor Valorum. I don't know. It's just so many things of like for Palpatine's plan. Like it conveniently works out, but like the logic wasn't really there. For example, the biggest thing is at the beginning of episode 3, when Anakin's about to kill Dooku, and the Emperor just tells him to do it. What if Dooku had just told Anakin right there, "Yo, this guy's the Emperor"? Like what was his plan there? I still don't understand. Like, was his plan all along to get Dooku killed? I don't understand. Feminist Politics, aka Rose and Hulda. Oh my god. Why are... That has to be the silliest thing I've seen all day. Since when do women characters in Star Wars equal feminist politics? Please explain that to me. You could make the same argument like, oh, I don't like episode 4 because of the feminist politics with Leia. Leia talks down to all the men in the film. Like, come on, get out of here. That's nonsense. Episode 1, Yoda puppet to get his own film. Yo, can we get a a Disney Plus series for episode 1 Puppet Yoda? In the Clone Wars, Saisi-Tin said that there hadn't been battles like the one he was in since the Old Republic. Like, bro, it's because you sit at the temple, you weren't in any battles. Queue up. Have you been in any battles? No, actually. I actually just sit and talk to my cohorts in the Jedi Council. Oh. So you guys don't actually, like, do anything? No. Aren't you afraid, like, bad things will happen? I'm sure we'll be able to predict it, even though our ability to use the Force is apparently diminished. Oh, what does that mean? Your ability to use the Force is diminished? That doesn't sound good. Yeah, I'm really not too sure what it means. It really means nothing, to be quite honest. But it basically just means we're all stupid and we can't predict anything. We can't smell villains right under our nose. I really hope they don't try to blur the line between the Dark Empire series being canon or legends with bringing back the Empire, because that would just screw up stories that need to be left alone. What's word is lots of them are holograms. Oh, what's weird? So they aren't even on Coruscant. They're like working from home. I mean, a lot of them were off-world at that point. Favorite Jedi on the Council? I don't know. I don't really like any of the prequel Jedi, to be quite honest. Like, episode 3 Obi-Wan's okay. Maybe that's it. Maybe episode 3 Obi-Wan's probably my favorite Jedi of, like, the prequel Jedi. Everyone else, whatever. Working from home. Yeah, that's a sweet gig. So in my trailer analysis, the Y-Wing scene, the Star Destroyers are Imperial classes 1 or 2. Yeah, they have the giant cannon on the bottom of them. Han's blaster is the chosen gun. Have you been in any battles? Have you been in any battles? What about Master Windu? He's kind of a jerk. He also beheaded a man in front of his child. He didn't have to. He could have just cut off his arms. Well, I guess he cut his gun. Like, why did he have to behead him? That was pretty messed up. In the Clone Wars, when Evan Peel was captured, two droidicas just pulled up to the Venator's bridge, and he was like, "Oop, that's it, we're done." Mace is a savage. I wish Padme was in Rogue One. What? How? He thought Jango was a droid. Oh, I can imagine. Yo, that would be a great, like, Robot Chicken scene. Or, like, he's like, oh, wow, the Separatists have really come up with some cool new technology for these droids. Like, what is this, a Mandalorian battle droid? Is that what this is? I better take him out. Maybe I'll go for the head. Droids probably can't survive without their heads. And he just beheads him. And then he sees a sad little boy walk up to him, and he's like, "Oh, this is awkward." Talk about awkward. I might have asked this, but where are you putting this half when you work on the other half? I'll just stack up all, like, the platform plates. Those can be stacked. And I'll probably just move this front part to the front of the room, and then I'll just, or maybe flip it around. Maybe I can do that. That might actually make that easier. Just flip this around and then kind of work up next to it. It'll probably be somewhere in here, though. Unless I can easily move it. But seriously, how many like people? How many times do you think Mace Windu has slaughtered someone in front of their kid? Like, that's pretty messed up, bro. Did you get the jack for the table or boards of wood? No and no, unfortunately. Obi-Wan once thought as you do. Should have been your mother once thought as you do. That would have been a great homage to Padme. Why does Padme need an homage? She had 3 films. And she died because she was sad. What a loser. She doesn't deserve to have an homage. How about you want to stay alive to take care of your kids, you bad mother? Hi, Jay. Snow-covered rock looking good. Appreciate that. People keep wanting Anakin to come back in episode 1. Like, no. I don't understand. You mean episode 9? And they make that excuse the Emperor's coming back. Anakin's the chosen one. Can we just stop bringing back old characters? Like, what's the point, right? Like, anyone, like, let's just bring everyone back. Like, see the... So here's the thing, right? Like, people make such a big deal, like, oh, the Emperor is the main villain of the saga, so let's bring him back. I'd say no, actually. I'd say Darth Vader is the main villain. Like, the Emperor obviously pulls strings and he made the Empire, but Vader was, like, key to all of that, and, like, just the way the films are presented. Like, Vader is a more important character than the Emperor. I don't think that's disputable. But, like, if your argument is, oh, the Emperor was the main villain, so he should be at the end for some reason, then why not have, like, the main protagonist as well? Like, why isn't this movie just all about Luke then? Like, why are we okay with Luke not being the center point of this trilogy, but the Emperor, the main bad guy, has to be back? I don't understand. Vader's the main villain from 3 to 6, in my opinion. I agree. I definitely prefer the sequels to the prequels. And Emperor takes over the second half of 6. I think that's I still wouldn't say he's the main villain, though. Like, he's kind of... So here's kind of how I see it. So here's one of the other issues I have with, like, the Emperor needing to be the main bad guy in this film. In the original trilogy, when they're, trying to take down the Empire, at no point in the Rebels' plan is it, oh, we need to kill the Emperor. Like, that is the way we solve the issues. Like, he happened to be a byproduct of their plan, and he happened to die, but that was never their goal. The idea of those films was never, oh, once the Emperor dies, like, that's when we secured victory. It was always, let's take out the super weapon, let's take out the main, I guess, like the main weapon of the Empire. And the prequels made him, I guess, more important by telling a story, which I would still make arguments as to why that wasn't even really emphasized in the prequels, especially not in the first two films. Like, I don't know. I think people are overemphasizing the Emperor. Like, don't get me wrong, he's an important character, but to say that he needs to be there in this film because he's the main villain, quote unquote, like, did you not watch the original trilogy? Like, the point of those movies was never like, oh, we need to kill the Emperor. So why is that the point now, I guess is my question. George said the saga wasn't ever about Luke. It was always centered on Anakin. I mean, George can say whatever he wants in hindsight, but, like, the original trilogy is clearly about Luke. The original trilogy is a hero's journey about Luke Skywalker. And Vader is a big part of that. His redemption is a big part of that. But it's all from Luke's perspective. It's all because of Luke. Like, Luke is definitely what Star Wars was intended to be about. JB says George is Star Wars, though. I mean, yeah, he is. He made Star Wars, but at this point, he can say whatever he wants. He can say, like, whatever he wants to fit his narrative. George has literally changed the Star Wars movies, but if you take those movies for what they were intended to be, like, what they're conveying to you in the theater, like, you can see that's clearly not the case. In terms of actual evilness, Palpatine is the guy, though. Vader always seemed to have some good in him. Palpatine was always bad. I agree, he was a more evil villain, but my argument is just Vader is the main villain, I would say. What's up, Jay? I have included you in my mock for Brick Fiesta 2020. Awesome! Can't wait to see it. Yeah, George Lucas also said that Star Wars is for 12-year-old boys. That's why he says, it wasn't even 12 I'd say he probably said it was younger than that. That's why the prequels are about space politics, because those movies are for kids, right? That's why we see a man literally get burned alive, because those movies are for kids. Okay, George. You guys got to stop taking George Lucas's word as the gospel. Like, yeah, I appreciate that he made Star Wars. That is great. Thank you, George Lucas. But George is not perfect. George is not the end-all, be-all. Like, George says a lot of BS. He said 12, I'm sure. I mean, that's probably true. I don't care about George Lucas's word. I just care about his movies. I mean, I don't know why. I saw Rots when I was 3. Wow. I saw Rots, I guess I would have been 10. Imagine if there was an R-rated Star Wars film. I see no reason to have an R-rated Star Wars film. Kylo Ren would be so awesome if he would have been, like, super powerful and destroyed the Resistance and Rey, but then dies the baddie. I mean, we'll see. We'll see how that turns out. I'm so excited for Episode 9, freaking Space Forces. What could be better? No sarcasm. I'm actually super hyped for that. That scene looks awesome. Like, them charging on the surface of a First Order Star Destroyer is such a cool idea. I love that. The only thing that ruins that shot for me is all the Imperial Star Destroyers in the background. I'm just like, we get it. I remember Star Destroyers, okay? Like, jeez, guys. So Episode 9 feels more like here's my thing. Episode 9 doesn't need to be Star Wars greatest hits. I guess that's my issue with it. Yeah, I'm rooting for Kylo because I'm not even reading that comment. I saw it earlier. That's just you just need to really think about that. Which of the characters will die? I'm looking at Rey, Finn, and Poe. I don't think any of them are going to die. I don't think they need to die. Me and the BOYOs walking on a freaking Star Destroyer that probably has a white interior. You think that's where that is? I'm honestly not sure. It doesn't feel like a sequel space. It doesn't feel like a sequel space battle. Exactly, because there's a bunch of Star Destroyers like Imperial Star Destroyers in the background. Jay, I'm confident you'll make an apology video after saying it. Sorry, guys, I was wrong. That movie is better than Return of the Jedi. I mean, it could be. I mean, so here's my thing, right? Like, I mean, it could come out and I could love it. That could happen. I don't think that's impossible. But if people were allowed to be excited for the film right now, if I was on here like, oh man, I'm so excited, this movie's gonna be freaking awesome, I can't wait to see it. Like, why am I not also allowed to be apprehensive about it? Like, it has to go both ways. Like, you could be irrationally apprehensive and irrationally excited about the film. Do you want a Sith Trooper battle pack with the Sith Jet Troopers? Yeah, that'd be great. They look cool. Which movie do you prefer, Rogue One or Solo? I didn't hate Solo. Solo was just okay to me. So Rogue One, I'm definitely prefer over it. Episode 9 needs to be its own movie, not a Star Wars nostalgia fest. That was episode 7 chops. Exactly, that's what I'm saying. Like, episode 9 doesn't need to be Star Wars greatest hits. It doesn't need to be, oh, everything is coming back together for some reason. Like we've basically had 2 times in history where we thought a Star Wars film was going to be the last Star Wars film. And I just feel like in neither of those cases was it, oh, like, we need to refer to all these other things to make this feel like a trilogy. Like, no, like I said before, your story starts in one place and it ends up in another place for a reason. You don't need to go back. Like, we dealt with that stuff earlier to deal with it earlier. At this point, we're dealing with the evolution of that. I don't know, like, am I just missing something? Is that not how stories are told these days? Do you think there's going to be a lot of plot holes, or are they going to try to make sense out of it? The trailer seems pretty random. I mean, all the trailers seem random. Like, it's very hard to predict the plot of the film from trailers. That's just how they cut those trailers together. So, I don't think there's going to be plot holes. I wouldn't assume that there's going to be plot holes. Did they not go? Yeah, that's a big question. Were they teaming up? Was that a purposeful knockover, or was it an accident? I want to assume it probably was. That was not on purpose, or if it was on purpose, that was not them working together. That's what I would assume. If the new movies could stop pandering to nostalgia and be their own new stories, the films would be 1,000 times better, and Star Wars fans wouldn't be an uproar about every. I mean, but they would be. That was the whole like point about. I mean, the fact that people are excited for the Emperor, I think, shows that Star Wars fans ultimately probably don't know what they want. I think that's very clear. It's a losing battle, honestly. It's like you do something completely like unorthodox and ambitious with The Last Jedi, and it's like, oh, that was too different. It didn't feel like a Star Wars film. Play it safe, like Episode 7, and just kind of retell the gist of Episode 4, and it's like, oh, I've already seen this story before. And I mean, I know people are very, like, nice to the prequels now, but that certainly was not the case before, and George got a lot of flack for making those movies so different than the original trilogy. So it's a losing battle. Palpatine isn't dead at the end of the Empire, and the end of the Empire didn't happen because he has all those destroyers. Kylo can't be redeemed. He killed his dad. I agree. If hyperspace is another dimension, then why did Raditz collide with the Supremacy? Does anyone know why? I'm just confused. I mean, I don't know. I have no answer for that. Same reason, I mean, we see that kind of happen, like, the Rathtar gets shredded when the Falcon goes into hyperspace. I mean, it doesn't really matter. I don't know. Those are not the questions that keep me up at night. I get the vibe JJ is trying to rid the Star Wars universe of The Last Jedi. I mean, I don't. Why do people get that vibe? I mean, of all the vibes I've gotten from this trailer, I certainly don't get the impression that they're deliberately trying to go back on The Last Jedi. I don't really think The Last Jedi did very much to go back on what he set up in the first movie. Like, I feel like he's trying to go back on Episode 7 and 8, if anything. Darth Vader killed a bunch of children and y'all complain about Kylo. I mean, that was done after the fact. Like, I'm not gonna get mad at Vader's redemption in episode 6 because George decided to have him kill kids in 3. Like, I would just George will do what George will do. I think it's also a big part of that is also just not wanting to see another redemption story. It's just like been there, done that. Last Jedi has no story progression in my own opinion. I mean, it does, but you can think that. Can you imagine seeing the original trilogy and then there's going to be more Star Wars movies and seeing The Phantom Menace? Dude, there's this really good video. I have to link it to you. But it's basically like everyone reacting to the Phantom Menace like when it came out. And it's so funny. Like, Phantom Menace has to be the most hyped movie ever. And like the way people reacted to it, oh man. It's funny and sad. It is funny and sad. That Star Destroyer is disabled. Episode 6 was pretty hyped, but it wasn't as hyped as episode 1, dude. Like, episode 1, like, Star Wars was coming back. Like, you end... the original trilogy is basically the only time a Star Wars trilogy has ended on a good note. Like, I mean, people liked episode 3, don't get me wrong, but the prequels as a whole definitely felt like a downgrade from the original trilogy. That's not me being a prequel hater. I think that's just how it was. But, like, coming from those movies that, like, made so many people happy, and then you end up with a Phantom Menace, that ain't good, fam. What if George released Star Wars movies in chronological order? Do you think Star Wars would still be this popular? I mean, if you're saying the prequels as is, if George Lucas released the prequels first as they were, we would have never seen the rest of that saga because it would not be popular. I think that's for sure. I mean, the Phantom Menace music is great, but come on, dude. Come on. Every Star Wars movie has at least good music. That's one thing we can pretty much count on. My boy John Williams is a beast. I'd appreciate the practical effects. I mean, there are things to be appreciated. The film's not all garbage. I won't ever say that. It's just, it's not the original trilogy. John Williams is the most consistent part of Star Wars movies. Absolutely. It's one of my favorite scenes in all Star Wars. Do you like? Oh, I love that scene. Gotta love Captain Panaka official. Dude. Shout out to my boy Panaka. We can't take your highness there. The Hutts are gangsters. We can't take your highness there. The Hutts are gangsters. That was a little presumptuous, don't you guys think? Gangsters? Come on. I'm sure not all Hutts are gangsters. Come on. Come on, Panaka. Let's be a little bit more inclusive, bro. I'm sure there are nice Hutts. We need an updated Panaka with the Royal Naboo starship. Bro, if they ever make that as a set, I will be a happy boy. I guess I can go there, maybe? Oh, God. I do that so often with this. I'll play something, bring my hand back, and just knock over a bunch of pieces. A lot of people blindly say how bad the CG was for the prequels, but when you realize the amount of time Alan felt, you feel bad. I mean, I don't feel bad. A lot of the CG in the prequels was not good. Like, I mean, it wasn't. I guess here's the thing, right? Like, it just seems the CG in itself for its time was not bad. It just doesn't hold up like practical effects would. I think that's it. I want to see Hondo in live action. Bro, go to Galaxy's Edge. go to Galaxy's Edge. You can see that boy Hondo. They spent months on the lava. We need to have a BOYO trip to Galaxy's Edge. So, I mean, Celebration is in Anaheim next year, so if you want to plan something, we can totally do that. That would be the perfect BOYO trip. Celebration and Galaxy's Edge. Can't knock a film for outdated effects. Look at the OT in some parts. Yeah, I mean, I agree. Like, the OT is not perfect. I'm just saying those practical effects stand the test of time better than the CG in the prequels. That's my argument. I need to stop doing that. Just like in The Force Awakens, if they got rid of the whole fuel thing in The Last Jedi and they just made a side plot to something, it would have been an awesome movie. I mean, okay. You know what else call him Dark Vader as a little kid? I probably did at some point. I think before I was a Star Wars fan, I probably called him that. Well, CGI Jabba from A New Hope was made basically during the prequels, so that's still prequel era technology. I just think that if there was a gas station nearby, then Last Jedi wouldn't have had a quarter of its plot. That is true. Where is our space gas station when we need it? Anakin with 2 eyes. Bro, you gotta be a savage to spell Anakin that way. Jeez. Yo, this ROCKWORK ain't no joke. The best looking Jabba was Lego Star Wars Jabba. The original one. Oh god. You gonna get me something from Galaxy's Edge? I don't know. I don't know. I have to think about that. Hit me up on Instagram. We can talk. I'm actually not really caring for the original. Watching the OG trilogy in my rewatch since I've seen them billions of times. I mean, that's fair. If they're fresh on your mind, that's fair. Though it's never a bad time to watch them. If the Jedi did their jobs, 2 of the 3 prequel movies, I mean, all of the prequels could have been solved if the Jedi weren't freaking stupid. 5 and 6? I can watch 4, 5, 6, 7, and 8 all day. Should make a BOYO droid from Galaxy's Edge. Yo, that would be dope. What colors would a BOYO droid be? Part of it has to be red, since apparently people think I wear red all the time. Oh, never mind. Point taken. I'm excited to watch the sequel so I can really tell if the prequels are better or worse. I mean, the sequels are better. I can tell you that right now. The larger section of the mountain you're working on really blends with the wall, so it looks like you're working on a small piece of ROCKWORK. Yeah, I know. I've noticed that, like, on the video, it blends in with the back of the wall. I don't have that many tears in my body from when Luke blows up the Death Star. I'm glad you still get emotional about that. You'd have to get a black headband for the BOYO droid. There you go. Master Reveal says just ate some sketty. Bro, I want some sketty. Come on. What should your droid name from Galaxy's Edge be? I don't know. Have you started thinking about your next mock B? I mean, up till this point, we've I wanted to just like do an episode 9 mock, but we'll have to see how I feel about that movie. I hope you're incorporating curved slopes in the mountains because it's snow. There are some curved slopes in there. There are. I don't have a ton of the bigger ones, so I'm just using the 1x2s, but they are there. Have you made the BOYO Lounge yet or have any ideas? I know exactly what I'm going to do for the BOYO Lounge, but no, I've not made it yet. It's not going to... The one hint I will give you is the BOYO Lounge will not be on this side of the MOC. Should I do a Felucia mock? Yes. I agree, Jedi Bob. I totally agree. The WWE is just... Don't even get me started. I bet the BOYO Lounge is the secret Stormtrooper hot tub room from the Lego game. It could be. That could happen. It's like hard to see. Your next mock should be at ATJT. I got the ATJT over there. Are you doing an interior for the glass area on the big superstructure? That'd be a neat place for a BOYO Lounge. Alright, the glass area on the... Where's the glass area? I'm confused. I just want more Clone Wars stuff. Battle Droids clones so much cooler than sequel stuff. I mean, I don't agree, but that's fair. I just... Like, how do people... Please explain this to me. How do people in this day and age get excited for Battle Droids? Like, Battle Droids are literally a joke. Like, that conflict... Like, I love clones. Clones are cool, but... Like, the Battle Droids are just so lame. Like... They're so twerpy. It's a Jedi. What are we gonna do? Like... Ugh. I like to see clones having conflict against anything other than Battle Droids. How about that? The original scene when Han is talking to Jabba in Episode 4 is the most emotional scene in all of Star Wars. Bro, the most emotional scene in all of Star Wars is when Bor Gullet consumes Bodhi Rook. Yeah, like the Umbara arc, that was great. I'm just saying, like, moving forward. I don't want to see clones just fight battle droids. Han Mabuki. Oh, 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 oh. Look, Jabba, you want to talk to me? Come see me yourself. Don't send one of these twerps. Oh, 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 oh. Battle droids and mass numbers can do serious damage. Oh, yeah. Don't send one of these twerps. That's why the Siege of Mandalore will be so great, I guess. I honestly forgot that was gonna happen. I don't know. I'm not dreading Clone Wars. Like, I guess I'm looking forward to it, but I just don't really care. That's fair. JR, are you mad at me? No. I'd appreciate it if you spelled my name correctly, though. That'd be great. Yeah, you said no one died in the sequels, but Greedo died. When did I ever... Wait, what? When did I ever say that? And what? When the Rattard gets its signals cut off by the door is the most emotional scene in Star Wars. Rey is a cruel animal abuser. I'm more excited for Clone Wars than anything else. That's... Wow, really? Wow. I mean, I'm glad you like the Clone Wars that much. It's cool. I like it. It's fine. The cartoons will just... I don't know. Clone Wars is cool. I don't hate it. It's cool. Who has died in the sequels so far anyways? I think you died in the sequels. Mandalorian when the guy get cut by the door. Do you think we'll actually see that? Like, we'll see the guy getting cut? Or do you think they'll just, like, cut the camera away from it? Did you watch any of Star Wars Resistance and you said no one died earlier? Yes, I've watched all of Resistance. Smallest death count is probably Resistance. Yeah, probably. Hope Jedi Bob makes a cameo in Rise of Skywalker. Bring the saga full circle. Exactly. That's the only cameo I want to see. Jedi Bob. Is Resistance better than Rebels? At this point, I'd say yes. I think at this point, Resistance is probably the most consistent Star Wars cartoon we've gotten. At this point, Resistance is my favorite Star Wars cartoon that we've gotten. Slack! An interesting cameo that would never happen would be Admiral Thrawn. Like in a film? The most emotional scene is when BOYO is in the Millennium Falcon. Have we actually seen, like, an actual version of BOYO? Is there a picture out there of, like, a non-minifigure BOYO? BOYO is the new BOYO. I'm down with that. Jay, please explain why Resistance is the best cartoon, Star Wars cartoon. I'm confused. I think it's a good story. It's a good pointed story. Like, everything seems to have... They just seem to be going somewhere, I guess. Like, Rebels kind of lost its identity after a while. I guess Resistance just feels fresher than the other cartoons because you're kind of dealing with a time period that we haven't explored before. Like, the Clone Wars was great and all, but it was still... I mean, it explores tons of things, but it's still kind of dealing in that prequel time period. And it's a lot of familiar stuff, I guess. Resistance is mostly unfamiliar. So I don't know. It just feels very fresh. Like Rebels, once again, like it's, you know, Galactic Empire. Like we've just seen so much stuff with the Empire. I'm just kind of over it. So I like it. Like it's like just nice and refreshing, I would say. Did you watch the new Will Smith? I did actually. What was it called? I don't remember the name. Yeah, I did see it though. And I don't think Resistance is any more kiddie than Rebels or Clone Wars was. No one dies. Not even the stormtroopers die that often. I mean, that was the case for the longest time with Rebels. Like they wouldn't really kill people. And I think eventually they just started just slaughtering stormtroopers. But for the longest time, they wouldn't try to kill them. Like some of them did end up dying, but they weren't trying to kill them. BOYO is going to be an absolute killing machine. The better Boba Fett Battlefront 2 DLC material. Gemini Man. Yeah, that's it. That's what it's called. Not Janimi Man. Clone Wars was violent. People got impaled and it was shown. Clone Wars, like... That's the thing. Like, it was such a dichotomy though. Like, on one hand, like, you had like Duchess Satine getting stabbed through the freaking torso, right? And it's like, oh my god, like that was awful. And on the other hand, you have like Slice Noodles and Zero the Hutt and Jar Jar. Like, it was, Clone Wars kind of had a difficult time finding its identity. You found me a shirt for Chicago? Not yet. I don't like what they've done with Mandalorian Rebels or Clone Wars. It all seems too innocent or too weird. I just can't see all of Mandalore uniting ever. I honestly just don't really care. I like the Mandalorians and Knights of the Old Republic. I've never been super enthralled with them in any of new canon. Other than that, they look cool. That's pretty much it. Oh, yes. Most emotional scene. He wasn't, like... Didn't he, like, cut off her head and, like... He, like, cut her into multiple pieces, didn't he, in the hologram? And yes, there was an episode where R2 and C-3PO went shopping for fruit to put on Padme's cake. Did you ever consider doing Mandalore as a mock? No. I would say it would take a lot for me to do, like, a mock from a cartoon. Like, honestly, when it comes to, like, cartoon mocks... The one that stands above any is probably the Colossus, and the what's it called? What's it called? Oh, it was in Clone Wars. It was a lava planet with rocks. The Citadel. That's what I would do. That's what I would like to do. So either the Citadel or the Colossus. Colossus would probably be at the top. Hey, what's up, Kenneth? How you doing, man? It says, looking forward to the new season of Clone Wars. Great show, in my opinion. Clone Wars is great. I like it a lot. Why are all cool bounty hunters Mandalorians? It seems race. They're trying to. It's a Star Wars propaganda. They're trying to paint a negative picture of Mandalorians. It's crazy how much Sith Trooper merch there are. Yet we yet see a single one on screen. That is true. That is true. That's how merch works, man. They want to get you hooked. They want to get you invested before you even see it. You wouldn't build a Republic prison. Oh, yes, that's up there as well. I forgot about that. Someone actually messaged me about that the other day, and I was like, I would totally do that. How much I got to donate for 2007 WWE Arena? Why specifically 2007 is my question. Anyone ever do a Zillow Beast mock? I don't think so. That'd be cool, though. It's crazy how much Trooper merch there is, but we don't know who they are. I mean, that's what, like, Porgs, the same way. That's the nature of merch. Fist Stage. Oh, okay. Was that 2007? Really? Oh, my God. I would have assumed it was earlier than that. Welcome back, Kenneth. Long time no see. Only original boyos will remember him. Republic Prison, maybe I will do that. I had that on my mind for a while. Bro, do it. Do it. Do you watch pizza movies? Nope. I did not. How much of the mock is done? A little less, maybe like 45%. I'll say 45%. Man, this ROCKWORK is just... It's something else, dude. It's a beast. I'm also kind of like the second half of this mock's gonna have to be really tall to cover the back of this ROCKWORK, so that's a thing. They stole your girl. I'm sorry, bro. Sith Troopers are Mr. Steal Your Girl. Only 45% of my copies. It's going to be basically twice the footprint of this, at least. It's going to be a big mock, dude. That's all I know how to build. I only know how to build big. It's in my DNA. My family. We should all pitch in and sponsor a monster truck, like an actual monster truck. What? Hey, thank you, Kenneth. Appreciate it, man. It has been a long time. Did you even, like, have you seen Vardos? Did you see any of that? I'm curious. Has been a while, dude. I feel like I've had so many life experiences since last time I've seen you in here. Thank you so much, though, man. I miss the Vardos and crate streams. Those were some good times, man. I like the crate streams as well, because it was like the first time I did it, so I didn't really know what I was doing, you know? Put together some cash, slap the channel logo on a monster truck for a season. Bro, let's start a GoFundMe. Get Rich Boy J a monster truck. Let's do it. The BOYO lounge should be in the back of an actual monster truck. I'll take a vote. How many of you think I should actually put a monster truck of some capacity in this mock? Kenneth is only back because of his new savings account that he started in 2017. Jedi Bob, the crate streams were like 10 hours long. Why can't they be that long anymore? I'm not as young as I used to be, man. I'm not as young as I used to be. I want to be honest, I forgot how I met you, but I know I knew you at the beginning of Vardos. I don't remember like specifically when you started coming around either. Twilight is my dream mock. I have so many ideas for it, so many functions I'd like to. Oh, Trevor. Trevor, you and I are so alike and so different in so many ways, and our differences start with your infatuation with that Twilight mock. I joined mid Vardos. Dude, Vardos was a good time, man. I remember the first stream I ever saw you on, JB, it was the Solo Friday stream. I distinctly remember that. Because you showed off your gun. I missed most of Vardos and barely caught what you were doing with Starkiller. Okay, I got you. Well, this is Starkiller. Starkiller, Kenneth Starkiller. Here, I can show you guys. This is what Starkiller's looking like right now. It's kind of a mess. That's the top of the turbo laser that would sit here. It's so crazy to think, once I'm done with all this rock work, I gotta do the other side. I still have a whole other side of rock work to do. Any interest in the upcoming release of Jedi Fallen Order? Yeah, like, when does that come out again? Honestly, almost forgot about that. Anyone done a Venator Star Destroyer hangar design? So if I ever did Kashyyyk, which I would totally do at some point, I would have it like all kind of lead up to a big Star Destroyer Venator hangar. I would basically just do what we see in Battlefront 2. I just like the way that looks. So yeah, big Star Destroyer Venator hangar with like Arc 170s and whatnot inside of there, and then the Battle of Kashyyyk next to it. November 17th. Dude, so much Star Wars coming out. Oh my god. Jay, you should do Endor. Endor I would certainly do. BrickFlummer just did it so well. Like, I would have to put a lot of like money and time into doing, and he did everything from Endor. Like, I would do like something maybe smaller scale for Endor just to do it, but going like all out on it, like, I just like, he just did such a good job. I don't know, like, how could I even compete with it, you know? I would totally do a big Death Star though. That's the thing. Like, he did a Death Star and it was incredible, but I would totally do the Death Star because it's my favorite thing in Star Wars. That's kind of why I'm so excited for this, because it's basically First Order Death Star. Looks awesome. Appreciate that. Where will you be displaying it? Brick Fiesta? No, this actually won't be going anywhere, unfortunately. So my plan is to have it done by the end of the year. Probably won't happen, but close to that. I hope to have it done at least around then. And I'm basically just going to film the video on it and then start my next mock, and then that's where we'll end up at Brick Fiesta. DMAC Lego has the best indoor. I agree. DMAC Lego, the aesthetic of his indoor, what can be better than that? Maybe I was wrong. Brick Plumber has the most comprehensive indoor, if that's fair. His indoor also was just made way before DMAC Legos. But yeah, dude, DMAC is a beast. Like, I can't even... It's incredible. What's up, Playmation? How you doing, bro? Brick Plumber has built so many huge mocks. He has. So here's an interesting note. Like, when I first started building, like when I first started with my Padme's apartment mock, I saw Brick Plumber's indoor, and I was so inspired by that. So at this point, he's done Hoth twice. So I'll say 2 Hoths, indoor, and the Death Star. He's done 4 big mocks, right? At this point in my mock career, I've done Scarif, Crate, Vardos, and this will be my 4th big mock. So it's just weird to think, like, when I started, I was so inspired by him. Yet at this point, like, I've almost built as much of him, or much as him, if that's fair to say. It's just, I don't know, it's kind of cool just to think, like, where I started, and how at one point I was just, you know, a kid at a convention, like, just mind blown by all these mocks, and now I get to help give that experience to other people. It's just, it's so cool. How were you when you built your first big mock? That would have been Scarif. So last year was Crate. Year before that would have been Scarif. So 2017, 2 years ago, I would have been 22. My first convention was Legoland Star Wars Days in 2014. I think it was 2014 when I went for the first. No, 2013. That's when I went. Yeah, Legoland Star Wars Days 2013. I'm like super excited at potentially doing whatever that space battle is in Rise of Skywalker and building. I just want to build a mock of them, of all the resistance like charging on the surface of the First Order Star Destroyer. Like, it would be just so cool to build. I wouldn't build the whole Star Destroyer, obviously, but I would just build a large surface of it, and like, it would be cool. There'd be like so many levels. Like, it would be huge. It would just be like a chunk of it. And I'd have them kind of like charging on it, and then I would just have a bunch of ships kind of hanging around it. Imagine walking to a small room and there's Lego floor to ceiling minifig scale. I love it. I love it. Well, the update for Starkiller base, yeah. So it'll be out this weekend. I just wanted to get more ROCKWORK done. This stuff's taking a lot longer than I would have expected, and I knew it would take long, so that's saying something. I also wanted to get orders in, so I made the mistake of ordering from someone on Bricklink called The Slow Shipper, and I'm just waiting for them to ship my stuff. Like, that's literally their name, The Slow Shipper. It's funny, too, because when you order from them, where it tells you, like, what method of shipping they're using, it literally just says slow UPS shipping, and I'm just like, geez, guys. So yeah, I've got to send you stuff for the mock. Check your email. I actually looked at the other, I think this morning before I went to work. I just didn't get a chance to respond, but I'll definitely respond to you after this stream. Do you think the name Starkiller is a nod to the Force Awakens? I mean, it's a nod to what Luke's name was initially going to be. I'd say it's a more of a nod. I mean, the Starkiller from The Force Unleashed is a nod to that as well. They ship slower than the clone army of Camino. So why did you order for him? The only reason I did it was because I did Easy Buy. So that was just one of the stores it picked. And I was just like, well, I don't know how to circumvent this, so I guess I'll just buy from them. Like, I was happy with the price. I was like, it can't take that long. And yes, it is taking that long. Jedi Bob, when are you going to Galaxy's Edge again? What's up, Antoine Wilson? Glad you like the channel. I was talking about that Bricklink seller on a call with some people. Oh, really? Have you ordered from them? The slow shipper? If you look closely at the front of the Horseless Star Destroyer, this destroyer looks severely undersized for some reason. I mean, that could just be how it looked. Like, I mean, I'm fine with it. It doesn't bother me. Do you think they'll try to do an episode 10? No, absolutely not. I mean, never say never, right? Like, if you would ask me, would they do episode 7? Or as even George Lucas. And that's another good point for you guys who take George for his word with anything. There's a hilarious interview of someone like asking George Lucas about like episode 7 or just more Star Wars movies after the prequels were made, and she was like, you know, will there ever be, you know, more Star Wars movies? And he's just like, no. He's like, would you ever let someone else make Star Wars movies? And he's just like, no. So it's just funny to see where we've come since then. Money talks, guys. Money talks. That's a lesson for tonight. Whew. I like Mandalorian because it has a Rogue One vibe, but it's after the originals, but before the sequels. Yeah, it does kind of have a Rogue One vibe, just the way it's shot. What's up, Miner Make Smocks? Well, if money talks, how much I gotta donate for that WWE mock? Bro, you don't have to donate anything for me to do a WWE mock. I would love to do that at some point. Do you build all your mocks minifig scale? I built what I can at minifig scale, so everything in a mock may not necessarily be minifig scale. Behind those curtains, there's a WWE arena. You got me. You got me. I just want this ROCKWORK to be over. Oh my god. The First Order are the evil WWE, and the Resistance is AEW. That's a good analogy. That is not wrong. Appreciate that, Case Cleves. What's up, Custom Brick Creations? Holy crap, where have you been, dude? It's been a while. What do you think of the rumor that the new First Order battle pack? I mean, I wouldn't be surprised. That sounds about right. How hard is it to keep the ROCKWORK accurate to source material? For the most part, I'm just building ROCKWORK. I'm not trying super hard to make it accurate, other than for it to just look decent. I died for a bit. Well, I'm glad you're back. Just like the Emperor. How tall will the rock wall be? It'll be basically this height, like right here. Hope we get a real clone battle pack with the Clone Wars. What is a real clone battle pack versus a not real clone battle pack? I'm curious. School and work killing me. I'm sorry, man. Hang in there. Who's your favorite non-Lego Star Wars YouTuber? I don't know. Maybe Angry Video Game Nerd. He's not even... I mean, he's a YouTuber, but he's not really a YouTuber. That's not really like where you came from. All right, see you, JB. Take care, bro. They really brought... I know, right? Like, the banners make such a big difference. It's honestly crazy. IO Meets Venator is the best I've seen. I would love to see someone do it better. What's his name? Commander has a great Venator. Never stopped working on the Ghost, and it's almost done. Wow, dude. Post an update, my guy. Sith Jet Troopers are kind of like... I'm really interested in seeing what kind of role they play in the film. I'll say that. Star Wars Theory is Jay's favorite Star... Oh, my God. Oh, my God. Do you watch Nostalgia Critic? I do not. Appreciate that, Roanoke Handy Buck. Dude, I love Star Wars Theory. Me and him would totally get along. Like... The red Sith troopers would look great among crowds of First Order troops in this mock. Yeah, if the battle pack comes out before I'm done with this, I might put them somewhere in here, but I'm sure they're ridiculous prices online. Do you have any idea if Brick Plumber's working on anything right now? Yeah, so he's actually working on the Emperor's Throne Room, coincidentally enough. So, I mean, you can check him out on Flickr. Like, he's not super active, but he still posts stuff there occasionally. So if you ever just want to see what he's up to, he's on Flickr. All right, see ya, Garrett. Take care, bro. And Star Wars. Rich Boy J and Star Wars Theory. Do you think Star Wars Theory is Vader fanship? No, absolutely not. No. No. They always associate red with their things, but I wish that dark blue was a color they use on Stormtroopers as well. Can I interest you in a 501st Trooper? Unless you just talk about Stormtroopers specifically. .501st has entered the chat. Yeah, 501st Troopers are dark blue. Would you rather see the 501st in dark blue or normal Lego blue? That's a great question. I'd have to see them. I don't know. I wouldn't mind either one, honestly. Like, whatever they decide to do, I'm cool with. Dark blue is probably more accurate, though, I will say. Oh, Luke comes back in episode 9. They could use the Luke clone storyline and make it all connect. Bro, everything just needs to connect. Right now, Star Wars is very unconnected. Because it's totally not like it's been a linear story where things have happened as a direct effect of other things. So we need to connect it all by making Luke have a clone, because that's the move. Bro, you need to gaze into the eyes of the Porg. The Porg does not lie. The Porg is like Porg Gullet. He's Porg Gullet. That's what he is. Porg Gullet knows all. Yeah, but if there were dark blue First Order Stormtroopers... First Order Troop... Okay, I got you. Phase 1 or Phase 2 for first battle pack? I mean, Phase 2, absolutely. I found the official definition from Merriam-Webster's Dictionary, a real clone battle pack. A battle pack that doesn't include 2 Jedi. A battle pack that doesn't include 2 droids. Okay, just 4 clones. That's fair. That is a fair point. Poor Gullet. Poor Gullet! I got my Rebel friend from, I had Eclipse Graphics make it. Yoda over there is about ready to decapitate your young port. You can see it in his eyes. One in the morning, I'm just going to walk in here, and he's just going to be standing there, and the port's head's just going to be on the floor. Do you ever work on Starkiller off stream? Yeah, I did most of this ROCKWORK off stream. You guys can't see a ton of it, but there's more ROCKWORK over here. I did most of it off stream. Borg Gullet versus Green Milk Beast. He's not a beast. He's like a space llama. Do you think Kylo will slap Hux? I would pay money to see that. If I have to witness Anakin Skywalker come back and float and oh god, I'm destroying everything right now. If I have to witness Anakin come back and fight the Emperor with my own 2 eyes, I might just cry. You should have Santa Claus or something in this mock because if you finish during Christmas. That is a great point. I will probably do that. I don't think Joey May is trying to spam. I think just some of his messages keep double sending. Tears of sadness. Definitely not tears of joy. That's probably leave the theater worthy for me. Like, no, don't do that. No, no, no. Oh, Anakin returns as a Force Ghost, but not to fight the Emperor. I wouldn't mind if he returned as a Force Ghost, because it makes sense. Yoda's been there. Why not Anakin? That would make sense. I don't care about that. I don't want to see him fight, though. You should hide all the Advent calendar minifigs in this mock. Like, I don't understand. Like, just the Santa ones, or like all the Advent calendar minifigs? Jay, what's your favorite part of Life Day? I don't know, man. I don't know. Bro, just ignore the porgs and focus on the rocks. I would buy a gallon of blue milk if I went to Galaxy's Edge. Blue milk hot chocolate. Mmm. Does that Yoda scale with the UCS R2D2? Probably. Probably. It's a good question. I would assume it does. Have a handicap match with... Oh my god. Dude, Palpatine would dismantle. That sucks. That sucks. Everything like shattered too. There's not even like a big chunk of anything. Oh, God. Guys, I'm truly suffering over here. Someone make the pain go away. This is your night, Jay. No, that Hux. Get it? Don't laugh at my pain. Man, that sucks. That is not cool. Clearly, I just need to build better. You sometimes wish you could be a minifig and walk around your mock. Oh, dude, that would be incredible. I mean, more realistically, I wish I could just have like a small camera to get some really incredible shots of these mocks. Yeah, you should take mock tips from Ryan. Oh, really? And not finish them? RC camera or drone to simulate POV? Good question. I don't know. People talking about Palpatine dismantling Rey, but Jay's... Oh. Finish that comment. I'm sure it's funny. Everyone always asks Rich Boy Jay, but never How Boy Jay. What's good, Jay? There we go. What's up, Drunk Vax? Can you talk about your comment on Ryan's video? I can't find the video. I mean, I don't really want to talk about it, to be honest. I did not like what Ryan did. I will say that. I think porgs are stupid, just added to sell toys. I got some bad news for you, bro. Most things in Star Wars are added to sell toys. You think George Lucas decided to make clones a million colors because it fit with the lore? Nah, bro. It's all about them toys. All about them toys. Oh, you ain't playing Modern Warfare. I've actually never played Modern Warfare. Yeah, I'm sorry. My comment earlier got your chat talking about porgs. We should always talk about porgs. Bro, it's cold like Hoth in my room. Why is your room so cold? Turn on the heat. Who wouldn't fight the porgs or the Gungans? Good question. I'm going to go with the Gungans. The Gungans have Boombas. Once you have a Boomba in a fight, like, that's pretty much an automatic win. I don't know if the porgs can actually fight, like, at all. I've been good, CO Clone Commander. How about you, man? Do you play Xbox? No, I have a PS3. Misa, I don't have a Boomba. They need to stop Palpatine with Boombas. That would be hilarious. That's how they tie everything together. You know what? Screw it. I'm totally down with them bringing Palpatine back if they end him with a Boomba. Like, Rey just walks up to him with a Boomba, and she's like, what would be a clever thing to say before killing the Emperor with a Boomba? What would be a clever thing for Rey to say to the Emperor before ending him with a Boomba? She'd be like, you said big. She'd be like, you said big doo-doo this time. Right in his face, and he's like, ah! You said not bomb bad. She'd be like, you start thinking you better than the Gungans. What's up, Trent and Brick? How you doing, man? She'd be like, take this, you moof milker. She could speak her T's and say, e now combanta poodoo. Bro, Palpatine needs to die by Boomba. Death by Boomba. It's the most admirable death. That's for sure. What do you think about the Clone Wars in February? I'm looking forward to it. It'll probably be good. You don't think you so better than the Gungans? Palpatine shocks himself because he steps in a puddle. I'm melting. Yo, that would be hilarious. Rey throws a Boomba right in Palpatine's face, and he's just like, I'm melting. Ah! Oldest Star Wars toy you own? I don't know. Probably a Lego set, a Lego Star Wars set from '99. I don't have. I mean, the only other Star Wars toys I have that aren't like Lego sets are Black Series figures, and those are all reset. You never hit me up for the build session. I'm sorry, dude. I'm a busy man. a busy guy. I have a 1997 Java original owner. Nice. Yup, nub. Best scene episode 8 was when Ben Swallow spawned in. Ben Swallow has entered the chat. Favorite Resistance Season 2 episode? I think 2 and 3 were both great. I don't know if I could pick. Oh, dude, good luck during baseball season. You want me to do your homework for you, Joey? Do you think they'll bring the Mortis arc in? No, absolutely not. Then again, if you asked me, like, at the beginning of the year, if the Emperor was going to be in episode 9, I would have said absolutely not. Ahsoka in episode 9, no. Climate Boy J. How many Twi'lek wives do you think Kylo will have as Supreme Leader? Any good Supreme Leader needs Twi'leks. I'm going to go with 5. Bro, do your homework. You shot at the wrong goal? That sucks, dude. Have you seen any episode 9 leaks? No, we do not discuss episode 9 leaks here. I'll split my screen with the screen and do homework. And my homework. Got you. I'm not going to do your homework for you, buddy. Alright, I think I've reached a stopping point for tonight. I don't want to break anything else. Yeah, I'll give you guys a closer look at the ROCKWORK. So Rich Boy J proved his audience is all under the age of 15 in one go. How did I do that? How did I do that? All right. This is what we got. So, yep. That's it, guys. This party is over. This is a cool angle. I've done so much, yet I still have so much more to do. So, I appreciate everyone for tuning into the stream today. It was a good time. I got to vent some of my episode 9 frustrations. So, this was a good experience for me. And I got some building work done, which is always good. So, next stream, sometime next week. I don't know exactly when. You'll have to find out. It'll be a surprise. It probably won't be a surprise, but it'll be sometime next week, probably. stay tuned. Thanks to everyone who donated. Always appreciate that. And we're going to go ahead and end the stream. So take care, boyos. Yes, there'll be a weekly update. There for sure will be. That is not a lie. That is the boyo truth. So take care, guys.